Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So welcome to Wednesday night. I did make a promise that I'd come every Wednesday, and so yeah, there we go. This is our next second live show from after I've restarted the channel. Sorry guys, it's absolutely cold here. You know, I'm a pretty much a Durban boy, and I'm living in the Cape, and at the moment there's huge big storms here. I've got a huge big ski jacket on and a jersey on underneath, and I can't handle this kind of temperature. To put it into context, Durban today's temperature, it's the middle of winter, Durban's temperature was 31, and that's what we're used to. Well, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to when it's like 22 degrees putting on a jersey. So yeah, just bear with me, and it's pretty cold. If it's your first time at my channel, please subscribe to the channel. I do enjoy people subscribing to the channel and comment on anything I speak about. If you like it, if you don't like it, just go mad. I may have forgotten to promote this video this week, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to chat about what's happening. So tonight I'm just going to chat about three things, and then we can move on from there. So the first big thing is obviously COVID's pretty dire here in South Africa at the moment, and I think we're well into our third wave. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of cases happening, and it was real touch and go for a while if the tour was actually going to go ahead. I'm glad it's going ahead, especially considering we had some COVID cases there inside the Springbok camp, which has caused a few issues, but I'm hoping that they can secure the bubble, because especially where most of the games are being played in Gauteng, the COVID cases are rife. So yeah, let's hope they can stay in the bubble. It's not more about the players being in the bubble, but obviously the people that they come in contact with, because obviously they're going to be in hotels. There's the hotel staff, so I do hope, because already this tour is a completely different tour than any Lions tour that has ever been before. Already you've got no fans, and so yeah, it is dire here in South Africa. And if they had cancelled it, I would have completely understood. If they had cancelled the tour, it would have been disappointing, and it would have been bad for South African rugby. But at the end of the day, people's lives are more important than a game. And so yeah, all the people out there, good evening, Mark. Welcome to the show. And to all the people out there, just try to stay safe, and really try to follow the guidelines, and just try to protect yourself. But yeah, that's as much as I'm going to say about COVID and rugby. But now let's COVID and what's happening in rugby in South Africa in relation to COVID. Let's move on to other things. Well, I'm going to talk next about the probably one of the better games that I actually have seen in some time. Was the Premiership final that happened over the weekend. Really, really brilliant game. If you had watched Harlequins, I think it was played against Sale. No, Exeter played against Sale. I'm trying to remember who they played. Wasps, I think. And they were so far behind, and they came back from way behind. And then, to be in all honesty, I felt Exeter were going to win the game beforehand. They're just the kind of team, they just grind it out. Once they're in their 22, they follow the processes. And Bristol, that's it, Mark, that's it. And Bristol are a really good side. 11 just said they're doing very, very well. What I'm going to try to do tonight is I'm actually not going to, I noticed, I watched back the video last time, and I saw that there was a lot of dead time. So if I see a comment on the side, I'm just going to read it. And if it's, so try to keep it a little bit PC, so I can, or PG, and then I can read it out. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was right up to the last minute. Really didn't know who was going to win, especially when Exeter scored that last try. It was a really, really good game, and it was a pretty high-scoring game. And I didn't think the defence was that bad. I just thought that the attacking lines are really good. They really made a lot of space, and you could see how they were manipulating the defence. Moving Marcus Smith, obviously they had a complete a loop around, and yeah, it was really good. Great attacking rugby. You know, normally you associate those kind of games with probably New Zealand rugby. Did Tyron Green have a good game? Do you think he should have made the Springbok squad? 11 just said, I think Tyron Green's absolutely amazing. Watching him play for the Lions is an absolutely magnificent player. No, not yet. I think when I go through to he's going to have his call up very soon. I'm sure he's going to be in the running very soon in the squad. But yeah, maybe it's not his time yet. And just looking at some of the outside backs that we do currently have, I think it is time to maybe look at, especially Apelele Fassi, who I think is a magnificent player, absolutely magnificent. Like Tyron Green is great. Thanks, Mark. Mark's just given me some funds for a Lions hat. Mark, I will make absolutely bloody sure that I go get a Lions hat then. I'll come back to the Lions jersey. I'll speak about that a little bit later. And so yeah, I think Tyron Green's an absolutely wonderful player. But yeah, what did you guys think of that game? I thought it was magnificent rugby. If you look at how the Bulls Benetton game was, just so one-sided. This was just a really good game. It just goes to I really like the Premiership. I think it's an absolutely great competition because there's not that many teams, and with the salary cap, you've got the top team and the bottom team that are really close, and week in and week out, I think the games are a lot closer. You look at the only other competition like for like is probably the New Zealand Aotearoa. I can't pronounce it, but their Super Rugby competition, not the Trans-Tasman, that was a bit one-sided. But for the Premiership, I think like for like, I think it's great. I don't get to watch a lot of top 14 in this country. We used to get maybe 1 or 2 games a week, but you must just tell me if my camera goes out, guys. I do have a big storm at the moment, so we'll just see what I'm just going to read this. Hope Green returns to the Lions soon. It's a shame Mapu and Coenbrugg signed with the Bulls. I think it's absolutely wonderful. But I think the Bulls have some great outside backs in any case. I'm a Bulls fan. The Lions need to sign more experienced players. I think we spoke about this last week. I just don't think the Lions and the Stormers have the kind of cash that the Bulls and the Sharks have at the moment. So I think they're gonna battle to just keep players. I think they've got a few players that are already leaving. I think there's 3 players that are going north. So I think they're going to battle. You know, the Lions are a great side, great history, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it is great to see Coenbrugg back and Mapu back in the country, but it'd be nice to see some of the other players coming back from Montpellier. There's a few players that are playing there at the moment. That'd be nice. But yeah, look, I'm going to be next year. I'm going to really be in the United Rugby Championship. I think I'm really going to get involved in what's happening there. And but yeah, of all the competitions, I do think the Premiership probably has the closest games, the closest teams, and probably very evenly matched and all well coached. So yeah, and Saracens will be back. Let's see if they can stay within their salary cap. But even though we had that discussion last week about salary cap, I think yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I thought it was a great game. Let's go on to some other news. I'm gonna have to be quite honest. I started watching the Lions versus Japan, and I actually watched the first half, and I thought, and I actually had to go do something else, and so I thought I'm not going to really miss much. This is going to be a complete walkover, and then to go see the score, and I went, okay, actually I must actually go give this a watch and see what the second half was like. But yeah, pretty about some of the injuries that have happened to Alan Jones. Pretty sad that he's obviously out of the Lions tour. I was really looking forward to having him come play out in South Africa. But yeah, I thought Murray it wouldn't have been my first choice captain. But I think must be a leader of men, and Warren Gatland must be. He really must have a lot of faith in him. So yeah, let's see how that goes. They did lose another player, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if everyone knows the other player that was lost, then please give it across. But yeah, I tried to look today, but it doesn't look like the Lion squad has been. Hey, FNTSG, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I was trying to look today, and I had seen that the Lion squad hadn't been chosen against the Lions. The British and Irish Lions hadn't been chosen. Tomlin's morning, Donovan. I'm a Kiwi and wanting to see SA win series. Tomlin's, I'm a South African and I want to see South African win the series too. So, but yeah, I've got quite a few. I've got Mark in the channel. I've got quite a few big Lion supporters. So we'll see. I'm hoping for a cracking series. You know, if it's anything like the last series that was here, I think we're in for some real physical stuff. I still think it's going to come down to the tight five, but I've got a soft spot for the tight five. So yeah, it's a shame Jones. This is from Levin just said, a shame that Jones for sure, but I think Murray will be a good captain. Farrell could have also been a good option for captain. Yeah, I think the more and more I see of Farrell, I do like him I think he's a great player. I just think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder sometimes, and we'll see what happens. And I think he's started getting a bad rep with the refs, and I think the refs are, if you're going to have two different captains, they're probably going to take the other captain's point of view as opposed to Orien Farrell's, because of the kind of attitude he has. And I hope he sorts it out, because I think he's a magnificent player, and if he could just sort out those one or two little things, I just think he could because yes, he could have been a really good captain. Do you like South Africa's team to play Georgia? If in TSG, I'm actually going to chat about this next, and we'll go through the whole team sheet, and then we'll talk about it. Lemon just said, do you think any of the South African teams can beat the Lions? Maybe the Bulls or Sharks? I think they're going to find it hard without any of their top players, without their Springboks. I think they're going to find it really, really difficult. And look, the Bulls have beaten the British and Irish Lions once before. I think it's once in their history it's happened. I think they might have been the only side that have done it, or maybe another side have done it. But yeah, it could be. Those are the only two teams that I could think of, because if I look at the Stormers, they've lost their whole front row. They lost Peter Steph du Toit. There's just Damon Willems. The Stormers are going to be completely decimated of players. The Bulls obviously don't have Dwayne Vermeulen. They do have, who's their new number 8? Oh, no, it's Marcel Coetzee. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, they've only got Lizo Gaboko, the other Springbok that's available there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they do, if any team is going to beat them. I think if it's going to be any team, it'll probably be those two. The Brumbies under Jake White did it, and I remember that. And I think the Blues and one other side in New Zealand also beat them. I think it was the Blues and one other side. So yeah, the New Zealand sides have always done. They did really well against the Lions the last time. But yeah, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down this banner, and we're going to go just chat about the Springbok side. Like I said, I would love to have spoken about the Lions side, but the team hadn't been released. So next week we'll talk more about how that game actually progressed. Levin just said they have Goosen as well, Goosen, sorry, and Mapu and Combri coming, who all have international experience. Yeah, I think Goosen, obviously, also coming from top 14, he had that thing where he retired, and then he was bought out of his retirement, and it just seemed a little bit dodge. But yeah, I think he's. That's one thing that the Bulls probably are lacking, because from Mornay Steyn, it's like a experienced number 10s, and I think Goosen's the right person to do it. I think the Bulls are probably going to do 4 or 5 more big signings. I just have a feeling that they're really going to start. I think they're going to try get some guys with some real big timber. I can see one or two of the big locks coming back to come play for the Bulls. Let's see. Maybe we'll see Luat and Pretoria one day soon again, but we'll see. Yeah, I think the Sharks and the Bulls are going to be on a huge big drive to get players. I think they've got the cash to spend, and I think they're going to start doing it, especially preparing for the new Rugby Championship. Hopefully, SA keeping the force, biggest pack around. Yeah, I really do think it's going to come down to the tight five. I really do. I think there's a lot of parity when it comes to backlines. There's a little bit of difference, a little bit X factor players on both sides. I think the loose trios are a little bit different on both sides. I do feel that the Lions are probably going to be a little bit more mobile. The Springboks are going to be a little bit more physical. So we'll see. We'll see how the parity goes. How they're getting around the salary cap. I don't know how they're going to get around it. I just don't think SA Rugby have got the 60 million to probably give the franchises. I just don't think they do. David, no. Now sponsors also pay part of the salaries. Yeah, and if you look at the Bulls, they've got $2 billionaires that own the club. Patrick Motsepe obviously owns Mamelodi Sundowns as well, so there's a huge big drive for them to obviously have a lot of between the Bulls and Mamelodi Sundowns to do a lot of cross pollination when it comes to fans and things like that. I think the Bulls are really trying to look at the real commercial side of it a lot more, and I do think the Rupert family, I'm trying to remember which Rupert it was, but no, obviously he owned Saracens before this. So yeah, I think there's some serious money up there, and if Saru can't give them the 60 million, they're going to get their money from somewhere else, and yeah, then the sky's the limit, I think. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the board quickly, the South African side. Let's change. I'm going to actually get rid of this banner because we don't need it. We can actually look at it from this way. Let me put the comments back. So this is the team to play the Georgians. So we've got Ox and Chair. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about the teams. We'll go through the team sheet and then I'll talk about specific players. Bongi and Banambi, Trevor and Yankani, Sia Khaleesi, Ibn Etzebeth, Franco Mostert, Peter Steph du Toit, Quagga Smith, Kobus Reinach. Let me just go down here. Andre Pollard, Afalele Fassi on the left, on the number 11, Francois Steyn, Jesse Creel, Roscoe Speckman, and Willie Leroux. So that's essentially the starting lineup. Here's where it gets interesting. It has a bit of not full bomb squad. We're not playing a 6-2 split. You can see it's pretty much a 5-3 traditional split. So we got Marks, Kitshoff, and Malherbe. Probably the best off the bench front row in the world. There is no other country in the world that can have that come off the bench, especially when they're playing when Bongi Namai, what's the other one? It's quite a tall place for Saracens. Prop Tated. I'll come to me. Sorry, guys. As I'm getting older, the names seem to slip a little bit more out of my head. So I try to keep them in front of me, but we'll see. So Marks, Kitshoff, Malherbe, the front row. Marvin Ori, who I think has been... I think he needs his day in the sun. I do think he is destined to be up there. But if you think about it, the top 4 locks in South Africa, Ibn Etzebeth, Achia Snyman, Vincent Koch, that's it, David. Thanks a lot, David. Achia Snyman, Luat de Jager, Franco Mostert, Marvin Ori's pretty low down there on the totem pole, but I'm hoping that he gets some game time. Let me just say, do you think Pollard should be starting? I think maybe he should be on the bench because having played very few games since coming with injury, he might not be fit enough. I'll chat about that now. Then we got not Kobus Visa. I'll come to me. Herschel Yankees, Elton Yankees, and Damon Willemse. So that's a pretty much. Damon Willemse can play quite a few roles. I do think he has. I've always liked Damon Willemse the way he plays, but I just think sometimes he's a bit frenetic, and I just think this season he seems to have like loosened up a little bit. So I'm really hoping he gets some game time when the game starts opening up, because he can do some special things. But I just think at the Stormers, there's just too much pressure put on him that he has to perform. And I just want him to be in a situation where you just have complete freedom. Coming back to your question there, 11 just said, there's a reason why you'd start your player hasn't played for a long time first. It's in case he gets injured in the first 10 minutes, or your starting person gets injured in the first 10 minutes. Then if Pollard was off the bench, then you'd have to come play 70 minutes on the field. So there's a reason why you start your guy that you really want to get back into play, because anything could happen. And if it was reverse and Elton Jantjies went off in the first minute, then Pollard's got to play the entire game, and that could be even worse for him. Whereas now we could play maybe one half and then swap him out for an Elton Jantjies. But yeah, let's go back up and chat about some of the players. I'm going to start with my favourite players on the field. Trevor Nyankani, I think, is Sabu Nkosi tested positive for COVID, reason why he's not in the squad. That's correct. That is exactly why he's not in the squad. I think there was also contact tracing with Lukanya Arm. That's why he's not there either. So yeah, there was quite a few that of course, and Vincent Parker was also tested positive. But yeah, Trevor Nyankani, I know most of you guys didn't really see him at the World Cup, but he's probably for me, he's been one of my favourite tight head props currently playing in South Africa. Let me just say, I'm happy with Kriel starting. He might have started in the World Cup final if he didn't get injured. Same for Nyankani. When it comes to Jesse Kriel, I think he's an exceptional player. I just think Lukanya Arm offers something a little bit more special on defence, and he can organise the defence a little bit better. And being a predominantly defensive kind of side, I think that counts for a lot. But yeah, I'd like to see what he's learned in Japan, because I think he could bring something quite special to the field. But Trevor Nyankani, for me, probably one of the best tight heads currently playing in the country. The other nice thing is, if I look at that front row that's currently playing there, Oxenchair, Mbonambi, and Nyankani, they're not very tall. So they're not tall. Oxenchair is under 6 foot. I think Nyankani is about 6 foot. So it's a pretty low center of gravity front row. And I think Oxenchair is our future. I'm not sure, David, can Nyankani swing? I'm not sure what you mean by the question. If you could just rephrase it, and I'll try and answer it. If Oxenchair is the future of our loose head, I was looking at it. There's a few loose heads that are available in the country. Lisa Gaboko is another one, but I started looking at their ages, and I think Oxenchair is 25. So it means that the next World Cup he'll be 27. For me, props start really getting to the own from about 28. I think they peak at about 30 from what I reckon. I think they're at their absolute best between 28 and 32, round about there. I think that's when they're their best. So Oxenchair will be 27. He'll probably come off the bench. Yes, David, he can. He used to be a loose head that converted to a tight head. So that's why normally they take 2 tight heads, Trevor Nyankani, and 2 loose heads, because he can swing between both. So we're very, very fortunate in that respect. But as a tight head prop, I think he's exceptional. So Oxenchair is our future loose head. He'll be the next person after Steven Kitshoff. Steven Kitshoff probably is our in form loose head, and he'll probably start against the Lions with hopefully Ox coming off the bench. But we'll see. There are some other great loose heads that we currently are playing in this country. But yeah, I think that's a really, really good front row. And if you just imagine what's coming off the bench, you look at those props, and we just said when Colby joins the squad, he'll have much to offer. I saw the 50-meter drop goal the other day. It was amazing, eh? I was watching on Twitter, and I thought, no, this is ridiculous. It can't be true. And then I saw it. The guy's an absolute genius. But yeah. Wait till you see Apelele Fassi. I think he might not shine under this game. It'd be a bit under pressure, but you'll see. Going forward, he's going to be probably our best. So yeah, great front row. Siakalisi, his form started improving. Faf de Klerk, I think, is obviously only going to play him later. I think he played right up to the last week or the second last weekend in Premiership rugby. So yeah, I think Kobus Reinach I really like Kobus Reinach. I think he also brings something fairly special. I think we've got some really good scrum halves in this country. Khaleesi's really, his form has really started improving, so I'm glad he's there. Pieter-Steph du Toit, what more can you say? Pieter-Steph du Toit is Pieter-Steph du Toit. There's not much. There's quite some. Okay, there's 3 line-out options there, that's amazing. Kwagga Smith. I know there's between Kwagga Smith and Visa to maybe play 8. We'll see. I was hoping Dan du Preez would start at 8, but he was too good to see Kwagga Smith and how well he might do. I'm glad Kwagga Smith's there. I think he's done his time in the trenches. He's missed out on a few things, so he might not start against the Lions, but we'll see what happens. I think the problem is that the drop off from Dwayne Vermeulen is pretty immense, because Dwayne Vermeulen's a fetcher, he is a great ball carrier, and he's a line-out option, and he's smart, and he's a leader. So yeah, there's a lot that they offer that Dwayne Vermeulen has. So we'll see. Blues Highlanders win. Hurricanes draw against the Lions in 2017. Provincial rugby in SA has always performed well against Test. Yes, they have. I know the Bulls pride themselves on trying to beat everyone, especially at Loftus. I think it's the only game that's been played at Loftus against the Lions. I think, because I think the other ones are at FNB Stadium, and I love Loftus. I think it's Fort Loftus. It's the Fortress Loftus. I think it's an absolutely magnificent stadium. It used to be Ellis Park, but for me now, for the stadium is Loftus. I think it's still a bit old school. It's all those blue seats, and yeah, I just think it's the right stadium. Will Archestam and Lotte will be back in time for the Lion series? Yes, I think they will be. I was watching the press conference today, and it looked like he's been training really hard to get back. Archestam, I think he should have been back a while ago. Yeah, let's see. It's quite sad that Munster paid all this money for him, and he hasn't played any games for them, and now he's playing for us again. So we'll see. I have not seen much of Jasper Wiese, but sounds like he's a really good player. Would be interesting to see how he does. I agree. I'd really like to see how he does. It's going to come down to how well you gel inside the team. They do have it's the outside in defence, so it's a high risk, high reward defensive system that the South Africans play. So we'll see how he fits into that system. We've also got to see how the Lions are going to be playing their loose trio. Are they going to be playing them out wide? Are they going to be playing Jamie George out wide if Jamie George starts? So there's a lot of because I know the new system now is 1-3-2-2, where you obviously have 2 really mobile outside loose trio. So we'll see what happens. Let's go down the list. Forward pack, I think that's a pretty well balanced forward pack. Got your enforcer, got your line-out options, got great scrummages, got a good captain. Number 8, that's where we're trying to figure out in this team. But to figure out, it's the right thing to be surrounded by really, really good players. Coming through to the back line, Reinach, we haven't really seen him for much because he obviously plays top 14 now. But when he was playing under the Premiership, he was magnificent. Pollard, I think Pollard's probably one of the best 10s in the world, and I think surrounded with Kobus Reinach on good form on the one side, and Frans Steyn, probably one of the best rugby players South Africa's ever produced. All overseas players are either overseas or are still returning. That's why they're not playing. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly why that's the case. The centre combination, I think with Damon Delende still got the burn marks, or I still think Damon Delende is probably going to be the starting 12. I think Frans Steyn will move to the bench. He's part of the bomb squad. Jesse Kriel, he's really going to have to play himself in form to take Lukhanyo Arm out. Lukhanyo Arm is a captain for the Sharks. he brings a lot of leadership to the backfield. So we'll see what happens. Willie Leroux, I was never really a big fan of Willie Leroux until I saw that Chasing the Sun, and Pollard and Ryan, I think they play for Montpellier. I think they've done 4, but I don't think they've started at the box together. But I know that they have played together before, Eleven just said. Roscoe Speckman, if you guys have watched Sevens, Roscoe Speckman he's a real pocket rocket. He really is. He's got some serious pace. And it's good to finally see him there. I think he did stop Sevens to obviously try to get into the Springboks, and that's great. I'm really happy that he's there. But yeah, coming back to Willie Leroux, sometimes he can be a little bit hot and cold. Sometimes he's almost like a Finn Russell. So sometimes he can do the most magnificent things, and then sometimes you think, what the hell's just happened there? So yeah. I think he's there to start blooding in the next 15, and there's quite a few up for grabs for that position. Fussy, I think, is playing at the moment, but I think it will be his last series. But I think it's time to take that RP that he has, because he has some amazing RP. I think he has some amazing RP to pass on to the next 15, and we need a real playmaker 15. And we're talking, obviously, there's quite a few options. There's Damien Willems, who I think plays really well at 15. Apelele Fassi plays 15 for the Sharks. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But looking at what we have at the moment, I know the All Blacks are pretty good at playing all 3 back rows as 15s. I don't mind Fassi at wing. Leroux also played wing before, like in the Tooten against New Zealand, and he did well there. I think it's a great way to start a 15 is at wing, and it just gets them into the defensive system. It's just our defensive system relies heavily on our wings, and yeah, we'll see, because it's all about, you have to make your tackles. You have to be your line speed has to be amazing. You have to make your first time tackles. You can't miss. Our whole game is based around outside centre and our wings pushing up as hard as possible to obviously cut off the space and cut off the options. So yeah, we'll see how it happens. I don't know much about the Georgian side, so I'm not going to comment on them at all. I'm going into this game not expecting anything. I'm not expecting us to walk over him. I'm not expecting us to lose. I've got no expectations, and I think that's how we should view all our games going forward. Because there's many games in the past that say, we'll win, we'll beat them so easily, blah 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 blah, and it just doesn't work out. Every single team has something to offer, and any team can lose against any other team on the day. It can happen. So I think we just got to, as South Africans, not just think we're the best thing since sliced bread, and because we do think that sometimes, and I think it's fairly much in our DNA to think we're the best rugby players in the world, even though there are some countries, maybe New Zealand and a few others, that probably play just as well as we do, or probably even better. So yeah, Speckman and Fassi will learn. 2008 Box versus England, and Corsia and Deontay debuted together in the last test during the series. I think so, Deontay. That's a real sad case, that one. Sabu Nkosi is one of my favourite players. The one thing I like about Sabu Nkosi, watch how he plays, especially watch his first Springbok game, and there was a player that when you watched him play, just seemed like he was supposed to be there. And he felt comfortable. He looked very, very comfortable. And I think he's a magnificent player, Sabu Nkosi, and one of the fastest. Galant Fassi, Damien, Tyrone, Tian, all great options at 15. Yeah, I do think we need see Willie Leroux offer something special in that second playmaker role. Not that we have a traditional kind of playmaker, but he does offer something that we have. I love to see a Tian Swanepoel at 15 for South Africa. This is a big boost and can also cover 10. I'll take your word on that, 11 just said. But yeah, I think we've got some great options. I think it's a good side, and yeah, my predictions are we'll win. I do think we'll win. I think we have the team here to win. But yeah, let's be honest. We haven't played for 18 months. We haven't played since the World Cup. We haven't seen my beloved Springboks for quite some time. So yeah, I'm expecting. It'd just be nice to see them. It'd be nice to get my big flag out, put my jersey on, and put my cap on, and yeah, support my team again. But yeah, guys, I'm actually not going to keep you much longer. I think we've covered mostly everything. Thanks everyone for joining in the channels. Like I said, I'm just going to do this half an hour shows. I've gone 5 minutes over today. But I'm just going to do half an hour shows on Wednesday. Just chat, drop me an email during the week if you want to discuss something, and I'll try to do some research on it. And I'll try to do that. If you send me a question, and I'll try to do some research, and we can discuss it in the next show. But yeah, every single Wednesday, 8 o'clock. South African time, we'll just have a quick chat about rugby. But yeah, guys, with wave 3 out there, with loads of Delta variant and this variant and that, just listen, just really take care of yourself, really look after yourself. Just follow the advice of the people in the know, and just try to keep each other safe. But yeah, guys. Just looking forward to a great weekend. I think we've got the Lions versus the Lions, Lions squared, Springboks versus Georgia. So yeah, great weekend of rugby. Chat soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.